Oxygen Med Fitness. Today we have them across the pond, our good friends at, I actually got this one from across the limits, but from delving into where to buy this from, I found out that they're in relation to Koka Labs, same people. But anyway, this thing took a long trip here. Can't believe that the package was all in one piece. Make sure that, let me get the channel going for, got my little one in here. There we go. Commercial on YouTube there for that. But anyway, so we got Doomsday. Let's do the weigh-in and taste test for this thing. So they have finally made it here. I got Dexter Halloween, Doomsday, Dexter Explosion, and Oxy Stim as well. And I'm sure a lot of you guys probably saw like that said like hard as rock, Oxy Stim, and Dexter Explosion. If you watched my review on saving a pre-workout, I tried that on those two, and it worked the freaking perfection. I got them in the deep freeze right now. I'll have to show some videos of that and how they turned out. But one of the extra steps I did have to do in saving that pre is I actually put on some medical gloves, and before I mixed them with creatine and threw them in the blender, just so I didn't break my blender, I put my medical gloves in a big bowl and dumped it all in a big bowl and just broke it up by hand first, just to get those little clumps a little bit smaller and handle a little bowl. But the Doomsday doesn't seem to have an issue. And from what I've heard, this is a pretty potent one, so we're going to make sure we weigh this thing out real good here. Here I'm actually going to do the official grammage on the weigh-in. And I'm just going to dump it on the lid right here. Zero that out. Yeah, it's a pretty thick scoop. A 1 scoop serving size at 17.91 grams. It came in at 18.91. So just for, I know this one's intense, and I'll do a level in the next one, but we'll go and take just literally like the top off of it just to make sure. Hey, so you want to come up here? This is the big dog. This is Hayes. Hayes is actually so bulking and cultivating so much mass that the doctors told him that he needs to lay off the whole milk. I told him that's a bunch of bullshit, doc. This guy is on full-on gainer shakes. We don't need to lay off whole milk, do we, buddy? No. So weigh in about a gram over for the scoopage, and a potent one like this. I actually ended up going down because I want to be smart about this, and I know that I've heard some people say this one's pretty hard hitting, and especially because I haven't really took a really hard hitting one in a few days, and I want to make sure that we are dealing with the we got a foreign object here, so I'm going to make sure we are in our realm here. But on the next review, I'll run this thing at a flat as well for the next two. When I give my experience, I'll probably give it at a flat. So that, I mean, it was literally like just under a gram off. So could have been a user error too, but and I'm not going to chug the whole thing right now because I still got about 25-30 minutes before the kids get home, and then it takes a while to get there. But flavoring, see if it says it here. Candy, this is grape candy. The grape candy, it's good. Like I kind of like it. It's got like a chemical, like you can taste that the good stuff's in there, but it's not like bad and like hard to get down. It's got this like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. You Stim Junkies know that sometimes when you taste the pre, it's like not delicious, but like you wouldn't drink it as an intro or BCA, but like you drinking it and you're like, oh, this is gonna be fun. Like this is one of these ones you're gonna remember, and that's what it kind of feels like. It's not terrible by any means, solid flavor. But for what's in this same thing, I'm very satisfied. But let's get to the effects now. Jim Dad Fitness. Today we have Koka Labs Doomsday Destruction. We're gonna stay on the Doomsday streak here and just go on a straight up Doomsday tour of all the Doomsday products we got here. But this Koka Labs product, this comes from across the pond. Across the Limits is who I got this from. A little bit of a story to go behind this. So this product, it was purchased about a month and a half ago, and this one, I got an email, obviously, like it's coming from overseas. You're across the limits is in the EU, and I'm expecting this thing, a couple weeks here and there. Then I get a notification from the shipping that this is being returned to sender. I go on, I look, it had the incorrect zip code. I just moved you've all been through the purchase information stuff before when your stuff autofills, and I forgot, I updated my address but forgot to back out the zip code. And I had multiple phone calls with UPS, and then finally, I'm gonna give a shout out. I'm sure she's a friend of the channel, she's definitely probably a subscriber, but Lynn, lady with USPS, she took it upon herself. She knew that she could tell that I was very concerned with my package. Actually asked me what was in the package, and I just told her straight up hitters. And then she kind of said what, and told her it's supplements, health supplements, I guess health. Said with a asterisk, but anyway, so she took it upon herself to track down the package. She actually snatched it en route back to the EU, got that thing, the label electronically updated, sent back my way to where I'm located at in the United States, and this thing arrived at my door about a month after order. So for a while I was a little bummed out. I bought a whole slew of Koka Labs products, and including the Doomsday one right here, which is one of their newer ones, and I thought I was out of my money, and I could not get a hold of Cross the Limits or reached out to their customer service or Instagram, and I was a little jaded toward those guys for a little while, and they finally reached back out like when the product already got here, and we've had conversations since then, and I've made amends, and I've actually become pretty friendly with one of the individuals on the Instagram account. Just conversations back and forth about Koka Labs products and other Cross the Limits products. But so we put solid water under the bridge now. No hard feelings. If you guys watch this video, all love here from America and Jim Dad Fitness. But so let's get into the review here. So Doomsday, like we said, the taste test review. The taste is my friend Miss Remix Everything, my pre-workout concierge that always gives me advice and opinions on things like that and ones to try, kind of described it when I was talking to him about the taste. It's like it's not the best, but you kind of like it because you know the goods are in there and it's not awful. It's kind of hard to explain. Some Stim Junkies kind of know it, where like something doesn't taste great, but you're like, oh yeah, this is nice. Like I don't mind this. This isn't bad, and that's what I feel like this Doomsday kind of reminded me of. It's not a bad taste at all. But enough of the taste. Let's hop right into the label here of Doomsday Destruction. So, Doomsday Destruction, label here 7.91 grams, and I've rated this thing 3 times, and every single time I just did the flat level, and I think in the weigh-in review, the flat level might have been slightly over it, and I just kind of took a little sprinkle off just to make sure, because I knew this thing was going to be a hard hitter. We have 6 grams citrulline. We're going to fly through this because there's quite a bit. Beta-alanine 3.2, the 6 grams and the 3.2 is kind of becoming industry standard here, which I'm loving. And then the betaine, 2.5 grams, is kind of all-arounder. Same with the taurine for hydration and all-arounder kind of at 1.5. The tysine at 1 gram. The Rhyogenesis at 300 milligrams. Nice little doses of Rhya. And we have caffeine at just 300. That way we got some more stimulation going on here, so don't get too bummed out that you wish there would be a little bit more. And we got the 2-amino at 200 milligrams. We all know what that is. That's the fun stuff. Can make you feel good. And the theobromine, that's a caffeine metabolite. 200 milligrams help you help you with the good vibes and the energy. And then the decaffeine malate at 150 milligrams. That is the longer lasting caffeine right there. And then we have the synephrine HCl at 50 milligrams, or 75 milligrams, and then the halostashine at 50 milligrams. Another couple stimulants, feel good nootropic style additions that are going to help, get things churning in the body there. And then we have BioPure for the absorption at 5 milligrams, and then alpha yohimbane at 2 milligrams, and then Herpesine A at 2 micrograms. So pretty stacked label. Our eyes kind of go straight to the 2 amino at 200, the aragonesis at 300, and then the alpha yo at 2 milligrams. And we've seen the halostachian come in a bunch of products, and I feel like every one I've enjoyed. So there might be some sense to that. That's just gonna be help out with the nootropic factor a little bit, kind of get things churning in there and stimulated. And so the label stacked, citrulline, 6 grams, plenty of citrulline and pump action going on there. And so I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. It seems like a win, but let's get into the effects. So I take the drink. I've written this thing 3 times now, so I got a pretty good feel on it. And the sense of urgency kind of starts churning in. It's not like it all at once. It definitely slowly starts brewing. But the fact I think there's a lower level of caffeine, there's no caffeine citrate as well. So it definitely is not one of those like hitters that's gonna come in right away and you better sprint to the gym. Both times I used it, I think I gave myself 30 minutes to get to the gym at least, and I thought that was perfect. And then that sense of urgency, the alpha yo, and everything starts brewing and kicking in around the 25 to 35 minute mark. And then you start like, you know, getting the feel good vibes, rev out right at the 35 to 45 minute mark, and it all kind of comes together right there and then. And the whole time I'm lifting, every single time the same kind of vibe. I'm just sitting there wondering, like, is this a euphoric, feel good vibes pre-workout, or is this thing a slap you in the face, get you going, slamming weights around, tossing around that iron, very physical, motivational type pre. And it kind of like bounced back and forth. I don't know if you guys ever had, I'm sure everyone's had a pre like this before, where it's like one moment you got the feel good dancing vibes going on, and the next moment you got the iron clashing, you know, shoulder press, chest press, all those movements that you want, that like that power output style pre. And it just is. And then I came to, so I kept trying to put a finger on it and like put it in a category. And I came to the conclusion that this pre-workout was a perfect mix of both. I think you've got to lean into whatever you're feeling in the moment and run with it. I feel like some days this might be like a power output style pre, and some days this might be like a feel good style pre. It also kind of depends on your tolerance too. For me, this was like right at the threshold of what I want as far as like slap you in the face, wake you up from the dead type pre-workout. It wasn't too over the top. It wasn't like a full scoop of euphoria, cloud 9, where I just felt like jittery as heck. And I don't want to be doing shoulder press and be jittering my ass off, better than like drop the weight on my forehead. So that's something I kind of was a little spooked out when I watched other reviews. Is this going to be a little too hard hitting for me? And I'll say like my stim tolerance is on the upper level to the mild level. I'm not saying I'm not like the craziest stim junkie in the world. I'll admit that, but like, you know, I feel like I'm pretty right in par with most stim junkies out there. Like that's why I think that you guys enjoy people should enjoy the takes on these things, because I'm not like so like I don't need 2 scoops of something to wake me up. So I tell you it's mild, and you just get slapped in the face, and you're like, what the hell's he like? I'm pretty standard stim junkie, I feel like. And so this was the perfect level of slap. Like right now I'm probably in the higher end of my tolerance, so I could see this if you're coming off a stim break, this being a little too much. This might be one of those ones you want to use at like, you know, if you got like a routine, like you do 3 weeks on, 1 week off, or like 4 straight days and 2 straight no days. Maybe do this at the back end of your stim usage. I wouldn't like have this as your lead off hitter after like a stim break or something like that, because this thing is gonna slap. You're gonna need to build up a little bit of tolerance. This is something that like if you're not feeling your pre, you might want to run this. Actually, after I ran Godzilla, I mean it was a good pre. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I bashed this a few times. But I started questioning, like, do I need a stim break? Like, is everything just feeling like water? Maybe Godzilla was a straight hitter. And so I took this thing just to kind of test that theory, because people told me this was a strip slapper. And that first time I ran this thing, yeah, it was on the, I never had a point where I had to like stop and like catch my breath and like be like, okay, you know, is this too much? Do I need to like go stretch and like try to calm down? Because I've had a few pre's like that. Smash AMF on 10 grams was like that. I still had a productive workout, but there hit a point at the peak when I had to like stop lifting and like go like stretch and like contemplate what the hell I was gonna do. Maybe do some. So I hate that. I don't want that in the gym. So this reached the perfect level where I never felt that like survival mode, but it was right on the brink of taking it to that point. So I never did heap the scoop. A lot of times you hear my reviews and you're like, damn, this guy heaps everything, he rounds everything, go ahead and take a heap and scoop all the time, like the last couple of reviews. But I feel like that's a lot. It seems to be a common thing with those amp citrate pre's, just because I feel like I'm running all these pre's and stuff like that, that I feel that sometimes it takes a little bit more of the amp citrate. But for this one right here, I never rounded the scoop. It was always flat level, because sometimes less is more, and if this thing is getting the job done at the grammage on the label, then I'm going to keep taking the grammage on the label, because every single time I use this, extremely productive workout. I trained shoulders on it, trained biceps on it, and I trained, I just split my biceps and triceps, and I hit triceps today on this thing. This is, I would avoid leg day with this because of the Alpha Yomi personally. It's a little too much slap for leg day. My leg day go-tos are the OG Legit and Excelsior, which is not up here right now, but it should be in the mail. I had some samples, but I got the full bottle coming in soon, so I'll have a review on that here soon. But loved Excelsior, 6 grams for leg day. But Doomsday Destruction, definitely used for those workouts. I love shoulders and arms, those ones that kind of get the heart rate going, because there's not so much like full body. I try to avoid things like this for like back day when I'm doing like deadlifts, squats, things like that. But this is one of those ones that is going to slap good. It's going to make you feel happy. It's an awesome balance, and they freaking nailed it. Like this is damn near, like if I had to choose categories for my perfect pre-workouts, you know, I got my Legit, I got for like the good vibe, all arounder, and then I got this for like the slap, the perfect level slap, and then my illicit hidden ingredient perfect pre is Excelsior. Those like would be my 3 bigs, and then Daily Driver, that's still pending. I got a few more to run and stuff like that, but I'll do one of those tops in the future here. But Doomsday by Koka Labs, they nailed it. It was well worth the wait. It was worth all the calls to USPS. Shout out Lynn with USPS for helping me track down my my product again. He's a huge savior there on mine. And where I kind of score this thing, let's get into the score breakdown and the final conclusion. So Doomsday Mass Destruction taste, let's give it a 7. You know, it wasn't great, but it was like we said, we know it's got the goods in there, so we don't mind it, and it's not disgusting. And then overall, like raw energy, nice solid 9 point, like it's damn near perfect. And overall, which was just very impressive, you're just at 300 milligrams of caffeine, but I think they just have enough like little core players that come in involved to help out that caffeine with the halostachine, the synephrine, the theobromine, and the decaffeinated malate, the riogenesis, the DMHA. It's just, I love the level of caffeine with a mix of all those other stimulants. It lets those, it's not too much that overpowers the caffeine overpowers those, and it lets those things come out to play and for you to feel the full effects. And so I absolutely love that, the energy level on it, even with just 300 milligrams of caffeine, the raw sense of urgency, this kind of like, it is a slapper still. Like I'd probably say like a 9. I've had more that just are like wake you up from the dead style, like I mentioned, like Euphoria, when you take a full freaking scoop of that thing. But this one was right on the brink of the threshold for me. I could see this being a little too much for some people that are, this is definitely in the advanced category. I would not suggest this for someone that's like a mid-tier Stim Junkie user or like coming off the Stim break. And then overall Euphoria, I gotta give this thing a 9 or 10 too on that thing. And I'll put my bar chart. I hate giving flat grades, letter grades, so I like to think of it as like a video game stat chart. There's give and take, and you just kind of have to plug and play for what you're training that day. Pumps were great. You can stack some pumps on this if you want to. You can take it by yourself. But there's such a nice dose of citrulline, plus with all these nootropics. There's a theory behind the DMHA, the review Rosa mentioned it, just how like there's such a great mind-muscle connection with these illicit stims that you just always have a hell of a pump on them. So I gotta give this thing, you know, 8 or 9 on pump as well. And then feel good, energy, God, it's gotta be 8 or 9 or 10 too as well. Like this has gotta be one of the better scores I've ever reviewed outside of, that's still available. Outside of the Legit pre, this is the most all-around pre-workout I've had. So definitely get your hands on this one. It's well worth the wait. Like I said, me and Cross the Limits have made amends. I said the referral, and they'd even give me a damn discount. It just gives me like a link to send people that gives that to the page. I'm like, this doesn't help the viewers. This only helps me. And so I reached out to their customer service, and they're gonna set me up with a promo code. So I'm gonna get that thrown down in the description for you guys. I'm still waiting on them to get back to me on that. They'll be like, Jim Dad something. hopefully just Gym Dad, but definitely pick this one up. Check out some of the other ones as well. If it's still on there, there's Dexter Explosion and Stim, and they're like, they didn't disclose they're hard as rocks, but they're, I can't remember what it was after their foreign currency translation rate, something in the 20s. But pick those up and watch Save My Pre-Workout video that I posted a few weeks ago, and I've got those things down to a nice fine powder just by using some steps and procedures. And and I've also learned, some people reached out to me. I got my wall up here. I actually have moisture suckers, like 10 of them, all behind back in here. So there's some science and some research to the structuring, and so I got extra moisture bags in here. So it's not just about me educating; it's about me learning and being willing to pick up on tips and be a student of the game myself. So I'm so happy I popped that video out, because I've had people reach out to me and give me tips that they use to save pre-workouts and keep them dry as well. So anyway, Gym Dad Fitness, definitely like and get this pre-workout, like and subscribe. This thing will not disappoint, but just beware, this thing's a slapper. So don't come running back to me saying this thing hit way too damn hard. If you either take this thing on the back end of your stim usage before a stim break, or work your way up to this bad boy. Because if you were, if you're taking something like a 1MR OG, that's like a pretty intro level Stim Junkie pre, and you jump straight to this, you're gonna be fucking off your rocker. Like, it's gonna drill you. So don't come bitching to me if that's too hard for you. But you know who you are that this is for, and definitely for the top-notch Stim Junkie fans out there. And anyway, hopefully I'll wrap this thing up. But thanks for watching. We'll try to pump out some more of these Koka Labs products for you. I got a bunch coming down the pipeline I'm so excited to tell you guys about. Gym Dad Fitness, like, subscribe, I'm out.